Are you dreaming a big enough dream for your life, for what you want to accomplish? Or do you somehow feel that you'll never be able to accomplish what you set out to do? And where is that fear coming from? Why do you believe that you're not capable of achieving that dream? My name is Darren Steele. I'm a thinker, writer, podcaster, and I'm a coach who works with LGBTQ plus changemakers and creatives to embrace their uniqueness and become inspiring, impactful leaders. I want to share with you a personal story about my fear and inability to dream big that fed my fears of failure and limited my accomplishments for a very long time. It was maybe 5 years ago or so, something came out of me. I just had this awareness. I was researching the concept of gay shame. And gay shame is this idea that there is something wrong with you as a gay man because you're gay. Well, gay shame could easily be called queer shame for anyone who identifies as queer or LGBT and beyond whatever that initialism is. If you feel different, if you feel like an outcast, if you feel like you live on the margins, it is so easy, unless someone helped you feel like you belonged. It is otherwise so easy to feel like you don't belong, that you need to maybe hide a part of yourself. The way in which I grew up, I had loving and caring parents, but they didn't know what I was going through until I was 18 years old. And they were loving and accepting. But because of the time period that I grew up in, I didn't see images that represented me as a happy, healthy, gay man who could excel. The few images that I did see were of a laughingstock or of an effeminate gay man who probably suffered in some way or was hurt or killed as part of some entertaining television show. Seeing that, reading the news, hearing what I heard in the Catholic Church, at least for how I thought, closed me down, shut me down. I know there are stories of people that somehow managed to break free of that conditioning, and they're so fortunate. But some of us grew up at a time during our formative years where that damage was done. And it can be worked through. And I did work through it. But it surprised me about 5 years ago when I wrote an article about how gay shame had limited my ability to succeed because I was afraid of being in the public sphere. And here I am sharing a video. And yet I was trying very hard to be more in the public sphere. What a contradiction. So the more public I was, the more things I started to do to pull myself back to feel safe. Some people will call that self-sabotage, but that's an incorrect idea. As human beings, we try to feel safe. We want to feel acceptance and connection and care. So what looks like self-sabotage is actually somebody who is trying to feel safety in their environment, whether it be at home, whether it be in some sort of a group situation. But if you don't feel safe, you're going to do the things that pull you out of the areas or the environments in your life that make you feel uncomfortable. So the more I tried to show up publicly, the more uncomfortable I felt. And it wasn't until I realized where that history started that I was able to uncover some of those challenges in my life. And then at the same time, I watched a video called Let Go and Dream Big, just accidentally, by Abraham Hicks, that just opened up something in me and made me realize this even more, made me realize how this conditioning that I had been brought up with impacted my ability to dream big. So my dreams were very like one step ahead of me, not 1 year, 5 year, or over 10 years ahead of me. I was thinking so short-sighted because I was seeing the conditions that I was creating for myself in my life that was making it more difficult for me to succeed. What a mind explosion when that happened to me. But I don't live in regret, because what I've recognized in this journey for myself is that experience and many others are what make me the coach that I am today, what allow me to have both the empathy and the understanding for working with other LGBTQ plus individuals, because we're one on the same side, and because we can understand each other immediately. Maybe not in all things, but at least on this level of where some of our fears come from in showing up in the world and being the leaders that we want to be, to have an impact, to make a difference. So if this has resonated with you, if you've experienced gay shame or any kind of shame for being who you are, and if you feel it's impacted your ability to dream big, or that it appears that you're self-sabotaging yourself, please know that I'm here. And that I'd love to have a conversation so that we can discover more about what some of these conditions may be that are still existing in the past that you may not have discovered or realized until now. And what are some steps that you could immediately take that'll start creating improvement so that you can leap out of, be more free from the limitations that have boxed you in to who you thought you had to be, but who you don't need to be any longer.